So gift giving has always been a little bit of a sore subject in my family because I started on my anti-consumerism journey years ago, and as soon as I did, I started asking them to stop buying me things. I would just say, I honestly don't need anything, please don't buy me anything. But that never worked. I would say don't buy me anything, and because I wasn't asking for anything in particular, I would end up getting a lot of stuff that I didn't want. You see, they just want to buy things. So over the years, I've realized that they're going to buy things. They're gonna buy stuff for me. It might as well be something that I actually want, and so I wanna make this video for people who either are living that reality, or I know plenty of people who feel completely just downright obligated to get their friends and family something because that's, you know, like the structure, the expectation in their family. So I make this video with that in mind. There are no sponsors in today's video. I just compiled the things that I think I want to say about gift giving during this time of year, and some things that I think genuinely would make gifts good gifts for almost anyone. I'll try to link anything I can in the description, but more than saying like you should give or get this thing, I just want to get your wheels turning on a few different categories in my mind that make good gifts. So let's get into it. So let me just state the obvious. I think the best thing to do is set an understanding, a ground rule. I've been in therapy, obviously, for the last couple of years, and I'm realizing the expectations are kind of the most important thing for communication. So to set the expectation that the best gift and the most sustainable gift is the one that someone actually wants. Period. I say this because I have a lot of experience with people just like going to the store and buying things that look like me, but I don't know that they really questioned if it's something that I would actually want. And I feel like for any scenario, that should be the question that we are asking. So first and foremost, the most sustainable gift and the best gift is the one that someone actually wants. So keep that in mind. Like a lot of the beginning of the gift guide that I like sat down and thought about is mindset, not necessarily like things. So let's go through a few of the mindset stuff, right? And one of my favorite things to do when I am thinking about what to get someone is to think about the best gifts I have ever gotten, right? So I always have one example that is like my oldest gift that I can remember that was my favorite gift and really changed the trajectory of my whole life. And then I try to think of like a more recent one. So one of the best gifts I've ever received in my whole life that I think did change the trajectory of my life was the first camera I was ever gifted when I was so young. Like I definitely was in elementary school, and it had to be, I want to say younger than 3rd grade. I'm so sorry, I have something in my eye. Obviously that, like, looking back now, I can see how that changed the trajectory of my life. I didn't know it then, but ever since then I've been really into taking pictures, taking videos, and obviously now I've combined my passions of sustainability and being with a camera to be my livelihood. And then more recently, I think I literally got this gift last year. My sister bought me this wagon, which I in particular had seen she had one, and I made a comment that I really wanted one because when we go to the park, we often have like blankets and food and drinks and chairs and balls to play games with. Like we bring a lot of stuff to the park, and we go to the park every weekend. So having that wagon has really changed the game for my experience of going to the park, and that's one of the best gifts I've gotten recently. Neither of those things would you just be like walking through a store and be like, that looks like Shelby. It has some thought behind it. It really are things that like improved my life. And so yeah, I think it's good to start with that thought process. I also am a huge advocate for wish lists. So I keep one all throughout the year. I created this wish list years ago for my mom, again, when I started this anti-consumerism journey, because she understood how to use Instagram. So basically all I did was I created another Instagram page, and I would just take screenshots and post them onto my Instagram so that when she is shopping, she can see the things that I am interested in. But there are websites you can use too. I just find that for my family, everyone knows how to use Instagram. It's the easiest thing that we have set up. I'm a big advocate for wish lists and asking for someone's wish list. Even if they're not keeping one already, asking for one if you are anticipating buying them something for the holiday season is like, I just feel like everybody prefers that. Even if you're someone who wants the gift to be a surprise, you can still get something that's like more thoughtful to go with it. I often will get someone something on their wish list and then make something that goes with that gift that like well rounds it out so that I feel like I'm giving them something that's not just something they were expecting. But regardless, wish list, however you keep them, I highly recommend, and I think we all should. And then after you've taken all of these things into consideration, I definitely always think you should check secondhand. Literally, almost no matter what it is, unless someone's asking for socks and underwear, like Madison does every Christmas, you can get it secondhand. Like almost every gift I gave last year, the year before, like for the last 5 or 6 years, have been secondhand. And I've gotten exactly what people had on their wish list, just secondhand. There is so much stuff already existing on this planet that we don't really need to be buying new things, right? So always check secondhand first. And then there's also the consideration of buying local, which has become more and more important to me over the years, like really realizing how local businesses are impacted by giant corporate conglomerates taking over the market, and how your average person just like can't survive. Your average little corner store or the game store in your town, or there's a local like more sustainable shop here. Those places are having a really hard time existing. And so if the thing that you're looking to get can be bought from a local store, like super recommend doing that. All those considerations in mind as we go forward into like the actual things I'm gonna talk about. Okay, so speaking of secondhand, one of my favorite things to do for anyone who like I feel I have to give an obligatory gift to, my favorite thing to do in all those situations is to do like a thrifted made combo, right? So in the past, some of my favorite things to do have been to find like really cute little Christmas dishes, whether it be like a platter or a baking dish or something like that, and then I will bake something. I also thrifted these like glass lights, like glass holiday lights. I'll insert what they look like, and then I'll fill them with like a homemade cocoa mix or something like that. Thrifting a really cute picture frame if it's like a friend of yours and you guys are just doing something small, putting a picture of you in it, or with your family. That can also just be like a nice thing to add on to a gift. I thrifted a couple really nice baskets that you can fill with like nice cheeses. We have an awesome vegan cheese shop here, or like wines. We also have a really badass non-alcoholic wine shop. But whatever the person likes, things like teas and coffees. A secondhand swing top jar with like bath salts is also nice. Cookbooks with like wooden cooking utensils. Those are things that, all of those things are things I have given that combine like the secondhand and made part, and it's really, really cheap to do. That's also something I'm doing this year, is like I'm trying to stick on a very low budget for the holiday season. I mean, really, I'm just trying to spend less money in general from here on out, in anticipation of what the near future may look like. So those are some really like affordable, easy things to give that I feel like are pretty universal, that everyone would like, especially as I get older. Like I feel like when I was younger, the like cheesy handmade simple stuff really didn't mean a whole lot, whereas now like my neighbor brought me some herb like salt that she made the other day, just randomly in a little jar, and it was the sweetest thing to me. I think like at this age, it starts to make a lot more sense that when someone puts time and thought into something, it does not need to cost literally anything to be something that you enjoy. So I definitely recommend doing that. Now, another section of gifts that I think is really good are practical gifts. These are more targeted, but they're still really practical, and I feel like would work for a lot of people. And the number one thing is a gift card. Have you ever gotten a gift card to something that you actually needed and that wasn't like one of the best gifts you got that year? Because when we sold our house in San Antonio, our realtor gave us a gift card to the hardware store, and I can't tell you how nice it has been to have that as we've had to make repairs on the house. And it's very, very practical, but also it just takes a lot of stress off of you when you have to buy essentials. So this would be things like fuel, gift cards to that, the grocery store. Honestly, in this era of my life, like a Postmates DoorDash gift card for the days where I just can't would be a wonderful gift. And I feel like we should normalize gifting gift cards because they are just very, very practical. But that I know a lot of people don't like it because it's a little bit boring, but it is very practical and it should be considered. Now, another gift I have given in the past is who gives a crap toilet paper. And you know, it doesn't have to be who gives a crap. They're just a toilet paper I've been using for a really long time. I think they're really affordable. They check every single box that I would want a brand to check to be sustainable. They also have a holiday collection. So like, why would you go with anything other than who gives a crap, honestly? And it's like a year's worth supply of toilet paper, especially if you're a bidet household. Also, chocolate is a very practical gift that gets given around this time time of year. And I only put this in here because I really think there are some brands, like the majority of brands out there on big box store shelves, are awful for the planet and its people. So I wanted to put a few of my recommendations on screen. Alter Eco is always my #1 recommendation for like eco-friendly, sustainable chocolate. Also ethical, that's the word. Then there's Lily, Who, Endangered Species, Equal Exchange. I think Tony's does a pretty good job. So if you're gifting chocolate this season, definitely consider that. That's why I put it in here, because it is a normally gifted thing, but we should consider being more kind to the planet, you know. And then under practical, I had a whole other like super practical category, which are things that people have seen me use in my life, and then everyone in my life went and got them. The first one is a bidet. I can't tell you that if you don't already have one, you need one, and I absolutely think like you should give them as gifts. Like I think a bidet is an incredible gift. Something that a lot of people are like scared to buy, but once they have it, like you can't go back. This is one of the things that I have had in my home, and then when people come to my home and experience it, everyone wants one. I can't say enough that this would be the perfect gift for so many people. I highly recommend. Highly recommend bidets. Another thing that I got this as a gift a couple years ago actually, and then every woman in my family decided they needed one too, which is like fair, it's a great gift. It's an insulated casserole carrying case. I know it seems random, but if you are making things for parties, especially this time of year, that case comes in such handy. So my neighbors threw like a barbecue a few weeks ago, and they wanted everyone to bring something to it, a potluck, and I made my dish and put it in there, and then when we got there and as people kept coming up, it was still warm. And I can't tell you also, as someone who has been hosting a lot more get-togethers and going to a lot more like community dinners and get-togethers, how nice it is that your meal is served the way you intended. Like as someone's eating something that you spent time and energy to make, it's not like lukewarm or cold, which really just like, yeah, it kind of kills the vibe, right? Also, everyone who comes over to my house and sees me using my silicone baking sheets has turned around and bought them. They're far superior, I feel like, to using like foil or baking sheets or things like that. They'll save you money, and they're a lot less wasteful, and they're just easier to use. Like nothing ever sticks to them. And I feel like I can't even say the same for parchment paper and foil. So silicone baking sheets, I feel like it's something that everyone that you would buy these for, if they cook, which if you're a human, you're probably doing that. Highly recommend silicone baking mats. So under the practical tab, and then under the I bought this and then other people bought it tab, is my Aura ring. This is an expensive, I honestly, every single time someone asks me about this thing, I hate telling them how much I love it because it is expensive, but my brother-in-law bought one because of me. 2 of my friends bought one because of me. If you have someone who has been wanting to track their cycle or their sleep or their activity or literally anything like that, I swear there's nothing better than this, and I swear by it for 2 reasons. Number 1, because it's cute. It's not ugly. I hated the look of the watch. I don't like putting it on. And the other thing is that I would forget to put it on, and I could never keep it charged. It was like, if I charge it overnight, I'm missing out on all my sleep data, which is one of the biggest reasons I wanted to track my body in general. And then if I like tried to charge it any other time, I would forget to put it back on, or it's hard to put back on, honestly, in my experience by myself. I can't tell you how much I love this thing. It's annoying how much I love it, but I do. We're moving into a new category. Some of the things from the last one fall under this category too, but some of these are not quite as practical, but they are sustainable. I feel like the silicone baking mats, the bidet, the toilet paper, honestly, a lot of the things I talked about in practical also fall under sustainable. These are not all quite as practical, although I feel like most of them are. Whatever. I got the Dew reusable under eye masks as a gift last year, and I have used them just about every single day since, and I love them so much. They're reusable. Dew is a wonderful company. I follow the owner on TikTok, and she's like so thoughtful about everything that she does. I think the brand itself is a sustainable brand, but reusable under eye masks is like a very fun, eco-friendly way to participate in skincare, and so this is a great gift. I think these make a incredible gift. I also might be a little bit biased, but I think K&S reusable period underwear is another really great gift, and I'll tell you why. They're not the cheapest thing in the world. I have to say, I've been using reusable period underwear for my cycle for years, and I remember when I bought my first set, it was a little bit painful. Like I won't even lie to you. But the thing about it is that they're not the cheapest things to make either, because it's like very custom patterns and things like that. So it takes money and time and energy and resources to make the things. And now I understand that as a brand owner. But I think that's what makes them such a great gift, because it is a little bit hard to make that step on your own. And if someone in your life has expressed wanting to make their cycle more sustainable, or try reusable period underwear, or someone is experiencing complications around those things, I've been told that a lot of people feel a lot more comfortable with their cycle when they use reusable period underwear versus like some other more invasive methods, which is honestly how I feel too. So I know I'm biased as the owner of K&S, but I do think they would make a really, really great gift. Sticking with body care, I don't need to gush about this because I've talked about it in a lot of my videos before, but it's a makeup eraser, which is just like a towel that removes your makeup without any other oil, makeup removers, things like that, cleansers. You just put water on it and somehow it magically removes your makeup. They'll save you a lot of money. They're more eco-friendly. And honestly, I just feel like the experience of using them is better than the experience of using makeup wipes. And a lot of times for me, like the thing that gets people to stick with the more sustainable thing is if the experience is better. And I 100% feel that way about the makeup eraser. I really do think it would make an incredible gift for anyone who wears makeup. I also always recommend socks during this time of year, because I feel like giving a sock is like a traditional Christmas gift, but I really like the idea of giving a sock that actually gives back. So I have partnered with this brand in the past. They're not, again, nothing in here is sponsored today, but socks for a cause are really cool. Like you can pick any kind of cause and whatever someone cares about, whether it be the LGBTQ community, animals that they care about, endangered species, if they care about climate change, there's a sock for them. And the brand actually uses sustainable materials. They have certifications that they are produced in an ethical way. It's all around just a great sustainable gift that I feel like is very practical and sustainable. I also love the Nice Spice jars. If you don't follow Nice Spice on TikTok, I feel like you're missing out, because they do incredible content explaining like why spices are the way they are, the background of how they're produced, how they source them sustainably. Again, I follow a few of these brand owners on TikTok, so I'm a little more invested in these brands. Nice Spice is one that I love. I use them every single time I cook. I have their little magnetic jars for my fridge. And not only are they a sustainable brand, but they're really practical in the kitchen and easy to use. And I think they make an incredible gift. Anyone's gonna love that, right? I don't know, maybe I'm biased because I love them, but I think it's a great gift. Pila, they're compostable phone cases. I feel like they have so many designs. The cases for the phones, they also have cases for the AirPods now. Is that what it's called? AirPods? Yes, I just think they make great gifts, so I wanna put them in here. Also, if you're gonna be buying lotion, there are a lot of sustainable brands out there, but I personally have been using one brand for several years. It's called Plain. They're woman-owned, B Corp certified, carbon neutral, vegan, cruelty-free. They have fragrance-free options now, which all of those things are just like, chef's kiss. And then something I think also is really practical. A lot of these are practical and sustainable. That just makes sense. But stasher bags, reusable silicone bags, the initial cost of them is like, oh, like it's a little bit hard to do. I completely get that, especially in this economy, but that's why I feel like they would be such a great gift. Especially, I always talk about this, I have tried other silicone bags in the past. I haven't tried any other brands other than Stasher in the last probably 5 years, but I was burned by so many other cheaper silicone options back in the day that I just stood with the OG, the Stasher bag, and I recommend them also because they stand up to all the different certifications that matter to me, whereas not all the other silicone brands do. So I feel that is a really good gift for almost, again, anybody who cooks and eats, which is everyone. And we can't count out experience gifts, and there are so many different types of experience gifts, but some of the ones that I have given and gotten are cooking classes. Those are really, really nice. Oh, we did this thing where we did rug making. My friend and I gifted her going to the rug making place. Experiences like that where you actually get to take something away after the experience is really, really cool. I mean, with cooking, you get the food. And you get the experience, you get the lesson, the learning of how to cook. But the making of that was really cool. I think you could also gift a pottery class, which would be really similar to the rug making class. You can gift Airbnbs, class passes I also really love. Movie memberships, I almost got Madison one of these last year because we live in biking distance to our movie theater and we go there a lot. Not only to see movies really, because I'm not the biggest movie person, but the food at Alamo Draft House, you guys, in Austin is like top tier. Like, I don't even understand how they do it, and they have so many plant-based options. So experiences are really, really great gifts, and you don't have to buy any junk and throw it away to do that, which I think makes it sustainable and practical and a good gift. Then I have a few ideas under this category that is just high quality. Like if you were looking to buy something, these are things that you might need quickly, or that you just buy, like maybe not the cheapest version of, but whatever is accessible to you, right? But if someone bought you a nice version of it, then it would be a lot better experience to be using that thing. That's how I feel about all of these, so I'm just gonna say them to you. Number one is a battery bank. I've been talking about the battery bank that I like for years and years, and I met someone at a conference recently who showed me their battery bank that they bought because I recommended it. And I recommend a brand that is sustainable. It's really great. It's called Nimble. Again, I'll have everything linked below. But they showed me that they had this battery bank for years because it was high quality. Whereas I feel like a lot of the other ones, you drop them, they just stop working, they stop holding a charge. So I feel like battery banks, buying someone a high quality one is a great gift. Things like knives. My knife set, I spent what felt like a ridiculous amount of money on it at the time, but now I'm so grateful to have it because they work so well. I don't feel like pain. It's not like annoying to me to take them to the farmer's market, which is where we get them sharpened. It feels like I'm taking care of something that I plan to have forever, which I think would make them a great gift. Stainless steel measuring spoons, that is something I've learned over the years, especially when it comes to things I'm gonna be using on like nearly a daily basis. I don't want measuring spoons that have wood handles. They're gonna get bleached out, they're gonna crack, they're not gonna work. I don't want plastic ones, I don't want plastic in my food and the measurements rub off. Stainless steel measuring spoons, great gift. I got them as a gift a couple years ago. Love them. A nice umbrella, specifically a UV umbrella for me. A nice one is good because I feel like those are often things you buy in a pinch and you don't keep up with because you don't really like the experience of using it anyway. But if you had a nice one, I think it would be different. Swing top jars that are for food storage containers. I feel like a lot of people end up buying the plastic ones that get scratched and scuffed. And honestly, I just don't want my food stored in plastic. So secondhand swing glass top jars are really easy to find at the thrift store and a good high quality gift. I had another category, but this is only gonna be relevant if you live in Austin, which is just like buying local, which I did kind of talk about in the beginning, but I really do wanna emphasize this year in light of some things that have happened politically in the world, and honestly just in general, that the giant corporations that exist, especially in the United States, own our politicians and ask them and pay them to have their best interests in mind instead of ours. And I understand that like the way our society is structured is like a lot of people depend on them. They're like their only options, distance accessibility wise and financial accessibility wise. But if you have the ability to not support giant conglomerates this Christmas holiday season, don't. Just don't. And if you live in Austin, I have a few recommendations, like the Blue Genie Art Bazaar. Has like over 200 local artisans selling things there. We also have Parker and Scott. They're a nice, cute little local gift store slash novelties. I don't really know what all you would call it. We also have Bookwoman. That is a woman-owned bookstore here in Austin. So those are just some options if you live in Austin specifically, but I like seriously encourage you to please do your best to support local this holiday season if you're gonna be buying new things. And I also just really love handmade gifts, so I wrote a few ideas for that, which are going to be seeds. I will be giving seeds as gifts this year. Some of my friends have already been asking me for milkweed seeds because I'm the only person who like has been able to get them through a couple seasons enough to produce seeds, so I am giving seeds. I'll do the combo gift that I talked about where I thrift something to go with it, probably like a plant pot or something. I made Christmas ornaments in my ceramics class last year, which my family, the people that I gifted those things to, told me those were like their favorite gifts they had ever gotten from me. But I think like embracing making things is like really sustainable and also more thoughtful. And I feel like if you teach someone something, that can also be given as a gift, right? So favors, life hacks, tips, those sort of things. In the past, I've also taught people video editing as a gift because like everyone wants to know how to edit videos, a lot of times in my life anyway these days. And so I've taught video editing as a gift before. I recently taught my sister, this would have been a great gift, but I recently taught my sister how to use this app that basically you can record your meetings, or well, for situations like me, it's usually meetings or conferences that I go to, and you can record it and run it through this app that will transcribe it for you, but then also also annotate it for you and like make it make sense at a glance and like make graphs, and it's incredible. That's just like a little life hack that I learned that I taught my sister recently that I feel like would be a good gift to be like, I'm gonna teach you how to use this thing that will improve your life. Like, I feel like we often do that just like here and there. Like, that's how I end up doing it for my sister. And not to say that that specific app is what I'm talking about as the gift to give, but it's more like taking your life experience and giving it as a gift is something to think about. That's not necessarily like go out and buy this thing, you know? And also, I have to say, like, if someone donated to Saving the Monarchs in my name, that might just be the best gift ever, ever, ever. Like, especially combine it with like a secondhand vintage butterfly necklace. Girl. Giving to charities and like giving back in the name of someone, especially if it's about a cause they care about. Similar with the socks, it kind of allows you to give back to the thing that person cares about and still get something to show for it. So I feel like considering that, giving to so many important causes that are happening around the world right now is a great way to give this holiday season, and it should definitely be considered because honestly, like, I don't really need anything this holiday season. Well, there are a few things on my wish list, but at the end of the day, if someone thought about me enough to be like, what does Shelby really care about? Like rewilding and conservation and human beings being able to have like dignity, you know, those are things that are really important to me. And I think if someone went through the process of donating to those causes that I care about for me in my name, it would be an incredible gift. So definitely consider that this holiday season as well. But I hope I gave you some ideas. I feel like I talked so long. Let me know which of these things you would or wouldn't buy, or if this was helpful, or if there was something I missed. Let me know in the comments. I will read your comments, and I'm always looking to improve when I do things like this. So let me know. I will try to remember to find links to everything I talked about, but I'm so bad with that. But you can see what's down there. We'll see how good I did. And remember, until next time, you cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that you can do. Bye, guys.